Okay, here's a short update on my 75 gallon reef tank, and commentary will be brought to you by the baby. Anyway, here's a big picture. Everything's looking good. I'll go from one side to the other. Show you the corals. If you check out my previous vids, you'll be able to see how much the coral is growing. And this one has really grown well. All the stonies are doing really well, and I'm getting good polyp extension on them. And that's the colt that's in there. I think it stays short because of that pump on the back pumps water right over the top of it, and it doesn't like it when it gets up in the current, so it stays short. You can see this piece here has two hard corals on the same plug, green and red, and it may not be great focus, but you can see the polyps on the stonies out. Really good extension. And that torch coral I've had in there now for a while, it's gotten huge. It started off with about 4 heads, and it's probably up to about 9 right now. Real big, it does very well. And there's some random mushrooms. As mushrooms fall off, I kind of move them around so that we'll get some good coverage. There's a green toadstool. Some green mushrooms, and really, in my opinion, probably the best piece in the tank is this Maxima clam. The colors don't come through real good in the video, but he's super bright blue. And here's another stony, another SPS coral. It's got a lot of purples and pinks in it. Real good polyp extension. It's growing very well. Kenyan treat leather in the back there in the back has probably doubled in size since I put it in a few months ago, and bicolored frog spawn that I ended up breaking into 2 different pieces. It was getting pretty big. There's a grouping of red mushrooms and blue purple mushrooms. The reds, I just did some cleaning on the tank, so the reds are kind of closed up, but they normally open up and cover up that whole rock. Another toadstool that's attached to a combo piece that I picked up at a local fish store. They plugged together a bunch of, there's some green star polyps and a bunch of zoanthids and some mushrooms in that toadstool, which looks really cool sitting there. And here you can see some more green star polyps that are getting bigger, starting to cover more space. And then this bird's nest SPS, let's see if I can zoom in. Really good polyp extension on that one too. And then these 2 frags that are now just starting to grow together, green and red. I think it's Monipora. And eventually they'll grow around and over onto one another, and they'll graft together, so it'll be a green and red piece and look really good. Another SPS with, let me see if you can see these. It goes out of focus when I try to zoom in, but the polyps are really coming out well. And the newest piece in the tank, one of my favorites, is this really good green bubble. My wife and I were looking around for a piece for a long time, and we stumbled on this one, so we grabbed it. And it really takes up that side of the tank nicely. Really good cover, or really good color and really good coverage. And of course, you know, some frags. That frag there is off of the Kenyan tree leather in the back, and that piece of colt is off of the colt on the other side of the tank, and some more mushrooms that are there, and there's a green mushroom in the back, and some zoanthids and stuff. You can see it's starting to move on to other rocks. The tank, all in all, is doing really well. That guy right there is super bright, and he eats like a pig. Same with the blue hippo. They're both getting very big. There's a, let me see if I can find them. This guy here is awesome. An orange spotted goby, I think. Anyway, all day long he sifts you can see how white the sand looks. That's because all day long he is sifting the sand and cleaning it up. He may give us a little demonstration here in a second. He's really cool. And then there's a mandarin in here somewhere. I don't know where. You can see. I don't know if you can see in the back. There's other little frags of colts and leathers. And I had a yellow a canary blenny in here, but he ended up jumping out. I found him back at the tank, dead. You can see that bicolored dotty back that hides out in there. Really good coloration. Everything looks really good. I'm looking for the mandarin, but I don't see it. But you can see what the it doesn't look like there's much flow in the tank, but when you take a look at the torch, and then like these frags of the colt down here that have fallen off of the original piece, I'm going to sell back to the fish store. And when you see the toast, so there's some good flow in the tank. It just doesn't, while the pumps are alternating, it doesn't look like it, but there's some decent flow in there. And all I'm dosing with is the B-ionic 2-part. And every now and then I throw in some, God, what is the name of that stuff? Coral Vite. Only every now and then. But we're gonna put a couple of clowns in, and maybe 1 or 2 more fish, and that'll be it. But everything is starting to come together very nicely. I'm trying to see if you can get some, see the color on that one. Super bright. Anyway, that's it. Hope y'all like it. Let me know. Give me a comment.